Matthew here from MiniWargaming.com, bringing you another Beat Matt Batrep.
We Orks here to play. Mini Wargaming's Beat Matt Batrep.
We're actually on episode 30 today.
Wow, 30.
Yeah, of season 2.
Okay.
And I think we did around 25 to 30 episodes in season 1, so we've done a lot of these over the past year and a half. So Fraser's decided that he's going to re-challenge me. You might remember the last game we had. Was it Necrons versus Orks or Tyranids versus Orks?
Necrons versus Orks, and it was episode 17.
17, so it's 13 Batreps ago. So we're going to play another game of Warhammer 40k. This time it's going to be 1,500 points of my Necrons versus Orks. Let's take a look at the armies as well as the scenario. All right, let's take a look at Fraser's Ork army. And that's Fraser, not Fraser, like on TV, just so you know. This is 1,500 points, his death heads, as he likes to call them. We've got the new flyer in there, which we'll look at in a second. He's got a war boss on a bike with a knob biker squad. Every single one is different. There's a pain boy in there as well, so they are annoying. They're not overpowered, I don't think. They just are annoying because of all their wound allocation shenanigans. We got a bunch of Burnas, and there's another mech in there. And they're going inside of a battle wagon with a big shooter and a death roller. Over here we have a big mech with a custom force field with a bunch of boys and a knob and a power claw, and they're all going to be going inside of another battle wagon. This one also has a big shooter and the death roller. And then we got a small squadron of death copters. Everything's painted red, and the battle wagons actually get that bonus. And last but not least, we have the new flyer. I think this is the Daka jet, or the Daka whatever. It has 3 twin-linked weapons. It gets 9 shots. If he wogs, it gets 18 shots. And they're all strength 6, AP 4 shots. So they're quite useful for taking down Necron warriors, or pretty much anything else, because strength 6 is a pretty solid hit. Now, let's take a look at my 1,500 point Necron army. Decided to try a couple different things, just to change it up. I still have some familiar things here, but the main difference that I'm trying is a royal court that'll actually remain together. So we have an overlord here with a resurrection orb and war scythe. We got 2 cryptechs, a harbinger of destruction, and the other one, I can't remember its name, but one of them basically has a lightning thing, and the other one has the defensive grenades. And we have 4 Necron lords. And we have 2 groups of 10 immortals, and they're going to be armed with Tesla carbines rather than the Gauss blasters, because I just want to try out the Tesla. Everybody says it's awesome, and we'll see how it works. And then we have 2 Ghost Arcs full of warriors. There's one full of 10 and one full of 9 warriors. The reason it's 9 is just simply because of the way the points worked out. Didn't have enough points to do 10. So looking at the scenario, we decided to do kill points, because he has 9 kill points and I have 8, but I had a lot more troop choices than he did, so doing objectives would just be difficult for him. And we got our board set up with all the different terrain. Everything will just be providing 4+ cover saves as normal. I did a little sparser terrain knowing that I hate all these vehicles, so hopefully people don't think that I did that just to benefit my Necrons and their shooting. I actually did it with him in mind, and then afterwards thought, that's actually going to help my shooting as well. So it benefits both sides to have the sparser terrain, but we'll see what happens. And also because we're both flying vehicles around, so want to be careful with the difficult and dangerous terrain thing. So we rolled off, and he got to choose who went first, and he chose for me to go first. So I've decided I'm going to put my Royal Court in the middle, because I have no idea where he's going to set up his guys. I want the Royal Court in combat because they're going to be awesome. I upgraded them like crazy. I think it's 660 points for that one little group, because I gave them all phase shifters, which gives them all 3+ invulnerable saves. All of the lords and the overlord have war size, so that's a strength 7 power weapon that does extra dice to vehicles. And then I got the 2 cryptechs. The one gives him defensive grenades, so if he charges me, he loses the extra attack. And the other one has the lightning thing, which is if I get charged, whoever charges me takes D6 strength 8 AP 5 hits. So if his bike's charged, they actually get insta-killed because their base toughness is still 4. So I'm putting them in the middle because I want to get into combat with them, and they're slow. They don't have a transport. And he's deploying. He puts his 2 battle wagons on the one side, then he puts his bikes and death copters on the other side. So he's going for a major flanking maneuver. So we take a look at this. Here's our knob biker squad with the death copters. I got my immortals planted inside this one building, so they can get the cover bonus. And if he charges into cover with the bikes, he'll take dangerous terrain, and his initiative will be dropped to 1, which only matters for his big choppas. All the power claws are already initiative 1. So stealing initiative, does he roll a 6? Wouldn't be the end of the world if he did, but I just don't like the stealing initiative thing. So he rolls the big yellow die and gets a 4. So the Necrons will still get to go first. So now we're going to enter into Necrons turn 1. So let's see what we can do here. Obviously my everything in the Orc army is going to be a bit of a pain. There's nothing nice and soft and chewy to go through until I get the stuff out of his battle wagons. So we're going to see how these guys do. I keep half of them behind the bastion, which we're just counting as impassable terrain. That way, if he does fire with something that happens to be AP3, which I don't think he has any AP3 weapons or better, then they will get a cover save. The Royal Court blunders through the forest. I think they only rolled a 4 on their move through cover. The Immortals move up here with their Tesla carbines getting ready to fire. And so they move up into the other part of the terrain. And then the other Ghost Ark moves up as well. I want to spearhead these 2 Ghost Arks right into the middle of his forces so they can fire on both their broadsides. So the Immortals fire their Tesla weapons. I actually roll 2 6s in there, but I forget about their extra attacks. So the very first time I used them, I forget about using the extra attacks. Basically with Tesla, if you roll a 6 on the hit, it counts as 3 hits rather than just 1. And so now we're firing the 5 shots, the Gauss Blasters, hitting on 3s, and then auto-glancing on 6s. We get 1 glance, and we roll a 3. Sorry, that was his cover save, which he failed. And we roll a 6, which gets reduced to a 4, but increased to a 5 because it's open top, and we actually wreck the battle wagon. So turn 1, long-range Gauss Blaster fire actually manages to destroy one of the battle wagons. That's a big deal in a small points game like this. Then on top of that, I'm going to fire my Tesla. This time I remembered that the 6s gave me extra attacks, so I got lots of hits, and he failed pretty much all of his saves. So 5 of his Burnas die. So the mobility of those Burnas is gone. They're not long-range weapons, they're just template weapons. I roll to see if he runs away. His leadership is 9 because of the mob rule. Then fire into 1 Cryptek, who has a strength 8 AP2 weapon at the other battle wagon, seeing if I can get lucky. So it's 3+ to hit, and then it is a 4, I think it's strength 8 versus 12, so a 4 to glance, but don't manage to do anything with that. That would have been a big deal if I managed to do that. So going into Orcs turn 1, the battle wagons are moving up. Just so you know, we're measuring not from the Def Rolla. The Def Rolla is not counting for us for the footprint. You can really decide with your friends if you want to do that, as long as you're consistent with it throughout the game. It doesn't really matter. The Burnas move up away from the burning battle wagon. The Knob Bikers move up as far as they can. They don't turbo boost and get in a position to fire their big shootas. And the Defcopters get in position to shoot their twin-linked rocket launchers at the Ghost Ark there, trying to take it down as soon as possible. See if he can take a couple of my vehicles out in response. Firing into the Immortals, lots of shots. Actually gets twin-linked here, gets lots of hits, all strength 5, so winning on 3s. And I actually do very well with my saves. I only lose 2 of the Immortals. That 3+ save really does help. So 2 of them go down. It's not enough for a leadership tech on the shooting here. Twin-linked rockets all miss, and then re-rolls. One of them hits but fails to do any damage. The big shooter from the battle wagon fires at the Immortals, actually gets 2 hits and manages no wounds. Or that was 1 wound, but... Oh right, we figured out afterwards the big shooter was not supposed to have shot because... Wait, no, that's next round. Anyways, that was a wound, but something happened there, and I'm not quite sure why. Maybe we probably just didn't show the save, and they actually made their save. Because I do remember them making that save there. Anyway, and then after that, we rolled for the reanimation for those 2 Immortals that went down, and unfortunately, they did not get up. I rolled 2 4s, so if they had a Resurrection Orb, that would have helped. So end of round 1, already a major casualty for the Orcs, losing that battle wagon, a few of those Burnas. But we'll see if they can come back in round 2. Click on the link if you're on Mini Wargaming, or click on the annotation if you are on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe.